Hello everyone, welcome. This is a short video to tell you what's going on. I'm talking a lot about meditation these days because that's what you need to do. See, a lot of people have tried everything. You know, you've tried health food, exercise, yoga, some kind of spirituality, taken courses, gone to seminars. You've tried everything. Prayer, tried everything. Something is missing. Something is missing. And what's missing is a connection with your ground of being. You've become a creature of the world, totally externalized, to the point that your whole life revolves around feelings and imagination. You spend most of your time lost in your imagination, planning what you're going to do, reliving the past, rehearsing what you're going to do, thinking about where you're going to go, or fantasizing, or then you use music or marijuana or something to enhance this being lost in this daydream state. And food, you get lost in your food, you get lost in everything. You get lost in everything. But being lost in everything separates you from your Creator. Yes, God made everything. He made the stars and the sky and the birds and the ocean and the water, and He made the food. And He made the people and everything. He made it all. But not to get lost in. You're like Alice in Wonderland. You fell through a rabbit hole, and you fell through the rabbit hole when you were a little child, and you were upset, emotionalized, traumatized. People did it to you. Maybe they didn't mean to do it. They probably didn't mean to do it. They couldn't help themselves. They just were doing to you what was done to them. And so you fell into the emotions and the imagination. And you hid there and lived out your life there. But you see, the problem is that your imagination and your emotions are controlled by the world. Think about it. When you get irritated at something, it is controlling your body. It is actually controlling your body, your nerves, your blood pressure, your heart rate, your hormones, your adrenaline, your state of mind. It is controlling you and shaping you. And when people upset you, then what do? They get you upset. So they're already in control of you partially by having been able to upset you. See, if you were not subject to them at all, if you were in the world but not of the world, then whatever they do, you would observe it. You might be puzzled over it. You might wonder about it. But it wouldn't upset you. It wouldn't emotionalize you. But now people can easily upset you, can't you? Because you've been upset all your life, so you've lost control. You've lost control of your own body. You're easily upsettable. And sure, you think some of your emotions, like feeling excited over something, or get some kind of a high from music or something. But once again, you're being controlled by the outside. Or you're letting it control you. But you see, you ought to be in the world, but not of the world. Now, but what I wanted to go on to say is that when people get to you emotionally, which they do, everything does, and it transfers to things. You can get angry at a chair. You bump into the chair, you get angry at the chair. The chair is literally controlling your body and upsetting you and draining you. See? and enough bumps into chairs, enough irritation, enough traffic jams that make you angry, enough of that stuff, you could have a heart attack. See? So think about it. The chairs and the traffic and whatever could actually end up with you having a heart attack. See? It doesn't make any sense, does it? So you have to see that. It's humbling. It's humiliating. It's painful to see what a pawn you are of the world. To see what a pawn you are. It's humbling and humiliating, but it's the truth. So how are you going to get back in control of yourself? Well, see, the ideal human being, I'm going to use some religious terminology now. I hope you don't mind. The ideal human being serves God, acknowledges God, and yearns for truth, and yearns for what's right, and yearns for justice. And that person has an attitude which makes them compatible with finding God. It's that simple. In other words, that person doesn't want to escape from the truth, or escape from conscience, or escape from reality. That person likes to live in reality, wants to discover the meaning of the purpose of their life, why they're here. They say they do. And then as you find out how to get a little closer to God, then you are ruled by, your soul is ruled by Him. And then your soul then is a proper master for the body. So the body serves your soul serves God. See? And in exchange for serving God and acknowledging Him, see, and obeying Him, and the things He asks you to do are not grievous. See, people ask you to do unreasonable things, don't they? They ask you to take tests and write term papers and study and go jump through all these hoops and pay all this money and take all these tests. And everywhere you go, tests, challenges, perform. You got to perform. They're unreasonable. God is not that way. What does He want? All He wants for you to do is not hate other people. Not hate other people and not lie to them. And not judge them. But just to be like a little child. Christ said, unless you become as a little child, just go through the world like a child, observing things like when you were little. You saw things. It was amazing. It was wonderful. All the things you saw. And you have to be like that. Just observe things. If you see people and their behavior is puzzling, then it's okay to puzzle over it or to wonder about it, but don't try to figure them out. See, don't try to change them. Just watch, just observe, marvel at what you see, and wonder about what purpose of your life is. That's all He asks. It's very simple. And then He would like for you to be close to your intuition. That's how He communicates with people. He wants you to be close to your intuition, not far from it. Now you're far from your intuition. What are you close to now? Your imagination and your emotions. And through your imaginations and your emotions to people on the outside and what's in charge of them. See, instead of your body being ruled by your soul and your soul by your Creator. See, instead your body is ruled by others and others by what stands behind them, what's motivating them, what's challenging them, what's teasing them, what's guiding them. See? So therefore, you have to refine control of your own self. So how do you do that? Well, first of all, your mind and body right now are totally at the beck and call of the world. And your emotions and your imagination. So that's just the way it is. I mean, think about it. Something happens at work and then you lay in bed at night thinking about it over and over and over again. Why did she say this? What did he mean by that? What did the boss do this for? Why that? Nobody appreciates. just over and over. Or if you happen to do something right, you make some little victory somehow. You make a sale, or you say something clever to someone, and they say, oh, that was so clever. Then you think about it over and over and over again and relive it. So you're totally lost in that kind of stuff. Instead of thinking about God or wanting to know about God, or you get lost in study. You get lost in everything through your emotions and your imagination. So you have to learn to stand back from it. See, you can't you can't pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. See, now you get upset, something upsets you, and then you try to suppress it. But that's too late. You take pills, or you try to think nice thoughts instead of bad thoughts, or you're always doing something to try to suppress it. But it's already too late. You already were upset. What you have to do is to be aware and not get upset in the first place. See, well, some basic principles will become obvious to you. They'll become self-evident. What do they say? The truth is self-evident. You will begin to see the need for patience, the need for standing back and just watching, the need for not becoming angry. You'll see the need for your need for it and why. You'll understand. But now your body and your mind are just totally out of control. So you have to, in a way, you have to stand back so you're not immersed in emotions and immersed in thought, and just watch the thought and watch the emotions. Watch the emotion, for example, unfold, even if it's wrong. Let's say you get upset by something. Well, now stand back and just see that you're upset, but don't resent seeing it. Just see it. See that it'd be better not to be upset. See that you blew it again. You had a chance to be patient and you blew it. Just see that. Bear it. But as you stand in God's light, you begin to, see, when you get closer to God, get out of your imagination, then He gives you the power to stand back instead of falling into and getting lost in Alice in Wonderland rabbit hole. You see what I mean? It's like the difference between being in a movie theater and being totally engrossed in the movie so much that you forget yourself. You forget that you even exist. You're just lost in the movie, totally identified with it. Someone could easily come along and pick your pocket or take your purse. You're so engrossed. And then you eat too much. You sit there munching on popcorn. You don't even know you're eating it. Then you suddenly look at your popcorn and it's all gone. Where'd it go? So instead of that, sit in a movie theater and watch the movie lightly. Stand back. You see the movie, okay. But you're also aware of yourself there, sitting in the chair, and of other people. You're not totally lost in it. See, you have to learn how to stand back in that same way from the movie of your imagination. See, and stand back from your emotions. And then standing in God's light, then you will inherit the power to begin to affect your own body. See, and standing in God's light and loving principle and what's right and loving conscience, then you will begin to affect your body. You will regain control of your body, and what is right, what is proper, what is just, what is fair, what is true will begin to affect your body more than what's on the outside. You see what I mean? And affect your emotions. So you will become self-impelled, and impelled by loving and following what's right in your heart. What could be simpler? You just know, or you see not to go one way and you just don't go that way. Some people are doing something that's not right. They want you to join in and you just don't. It's so simple. Why? Because you can see that it's wise not to. So that's why you need to meditate. That's it. You just need to meditate properly. You need to know the little that's all it is, just a little technique that helps you to stand back. It begins with that. But studying is not going to help you, because studying is more lost in thoughts, more lost in imagination. Listening to nice music is not going to help you. It's more floating away with music, floating away with ritual, floating away with other people, floating away with courses and study and thinking, and floating away with, or goals. People give you goals. Well, you got to do this, you got to do that, No. Just stand back. Have an attitude of no attitude. Don't have a goal. No goal other than to know the purpose of your existence. No goal other than to wish to know what's right and do what's right. That's all. And then it can begin with God. Then He can begin things. And anything that He begins is good. Anything that other people begin is tainted with the hand of man. Or you make your own plans. It's always backfired, hasn't it? You have some plan, you think, well, I'm going to do this and that. You think you're going to, and then you try to manipulate the situation or manipulate people, and it backfires. Now you just have to stand back. What's the expression? Let go and let God. You've heard that expression. Well, it's true. But in order to let go and let God, you have to know where to find God. You find Him within. And you find Him by standing back from thought. So you can either be immersed in thought or standing back from it. You can be lost in emotions or standing back from it. And when you're standing back from it, then you're closer to God's light and closer to Him. It's that simple. My name is Roland.